What's up, guys? Big Cake Clown TV here. He's back and he's got a new haircut. Oh yeah, you know how I feel on that one. But today's video we're gonna be talking about an interesting question that I asked Google today. Hey Google, do people like driving?
Who needs a driver's license when you can take me places? We can go somewhere now.
Nice. So yes, do people like driving? Now I've always wondered that because, quite frankly, I've been in the car with people and I've seen a lot of lousy drivers and a lot of people beeping and tooting and getting stuck in traffic for like hours. You know, it's a pain. So I wondered, do people actually like driving? Now, this may be different, but I'm here in the United States and we basically are hooked to cars. Like, we can't go anywhere without it. Our streets are built for cars, our houses have garages with them. I mean, they're basically an essential to living here. So, you know, so good luck getting to the grocery store just like walking there, right? That's great. So let's break down the stats here. So you can see just under 13% of people don't really enjoy driving and 8% not really. Now you may argue that's a slim amount, but in the US that could equal upwards to 10 million people. And reasons why people like driving here is because it gives them a sense of independence. Just, getting out there on the road, going where you want to. It's American Dream, baby. Woo! Yeah, so let's talk about why is there so much traffic here? Why is there so many potholes? I'm looking at you, Massachusetts. Why are there like all these giant concrete parking lots and tons of crashes and all of this nasty stuff? So let's break it down. So in the stat that I had said back there was a lot of moderate drivers, and moderate drivers aren't people who are really like enthusiastic, but they'll do it. It's fine with them, but they're not enthusiastic about it. What you have probably seen in the past, like since the 50s, is that it has been dropping and dropping and dropping. Enthusiastic car drivers have been, it's just going down, down, down. As more people are coming here, because, there's a lot more people here in the US than there was in the 1950s, obviously. So you're going to get a lot more cars on the road. And here's the problem. The infrastructure that the US builds on the highways and on the roads, it's not sustainable. Like, the highways cannot take all of those cars, so you're going to run into potholes, the road's deteriorating really fast. And I think there's a big problem in the US with cars. There is way too many drivers. Now, I'm not saying that, now you can obviously debate that, obviously, but there are way too many things I call stroads. So these are roads and streets that are combined. So they usually have more than 3 lanes, and they are usually on they connect communities. So what you're gonna get is, so when you pull out of a driveway, right, you're gonna cause traffic. There's gonna be a line of cars behind you. They're gonna be tooting, "What the hell is he doing? Come on, my grandma could drive out of there faster," right? And there's a lot of impatient drivers out there. They don't want to wait 2 seconds. They have to get places, and that's also another thing. Everything has to take a car. So an easy run to the pharmacy, it takes a car because there's no sidewalk there, or the sidewalk is pretty crummy or it's suspicious. I don't know what that would do. So, you got way more drivers that could be taken off of the road if we simply had ways to bike and ways to walk there. So one of the pros is you break up the stroad. Now, that sounds weird. Get rid of these stroad things. We don't need these things anymore. I'm gonna give you the count of 10 to get you no good, ugly stroad off my property. 1, 2, 10. Going to effect. Alright, so Yeah, so I don't really like these damn things. You know, they cause. Actually, believe it or not, if you have more cars on the road, you're gonna make more traffic. So if you expand the road, you're gonna get more traffic. So the only way of getting people out of cars is obviously, making bike lanes, sidewalks, just a few, The Netherlands is a great example of a country that has taken cars off the road and has made it easier for bikers. Now, so here's a route here. This route takes longer to get to by car, but bikers, it's faster. Now, it may seem weird that the car would take longer, but you don't have to deal with traffic. So, yeah, you can argue that. And then there's also some other things. Drivers like I heard in New Hampshire that 15-year-olds can drive, and there isn't really much restriction up there. So you're gonna see a lot of crazy drivers in New Hampshire driving a 4-wheel drive truck. Oh yeah. So you're gonna get a lot of there's way less restrictions here in the U.S. than there obviously is in the Netherlands. So you're gonna get a lot more, crazy drivers, like I said. And what you're gonna find is that there's a lot of crazy, misbehaving drivers out there. Oh yeah, I'm your mom now. So nowadays, you got drugged drivers smoking weed, hoes on their phones, what else could we say? Could say, could do, Oh yeah, all kinds of reasons. And it's not even like that Americans hate driving. It's just that Americans don't want to drive here. They don't do it because they have to. They don't do it because they want to. They do it because they have to. Because there's no other choice. And then you can also argue too, well, they're sitting in their cars all day. No wonders the discontent is really high and mental health is really low. That just goes across for the U.S. in general. A lot of things need to be fixed, but we can only do things so slowly because things take time. So hopefully in the future we address these issues. But then we also got humans are less healthy here because we're driving everywhere. So the suburban experiment we know now has failed. Suburbs are basically areas in your town where only houses can be built and things like that, because they thought, well, if we had we put shopping centers there, it would disturb the peace, quote unquote. And I don't really think it would disturb the peace. It would just make life more easier, simply. A lot of people do not like going to the grocery store, and you want to know why? Because the lines are usually long. We usually have to get in our cars, even if we're just getting a couple things some manwich, right? A can of manwich, that's me. I still have to get in my car and just throw it in. And then I have to wait in traffic again because, the U.S. just loves cars, There's no other way to life other than cars. So that little run to get that can of manwich has become a 30-minute run from my house. When I could have just walked there if simply the town had good infrastructure to get me a bike lane so I can go there and get me a sidewalk. But none of that's sufficient anymore because apparently these giant concrete parking lots are more, valuable than the downtown area. So let's look at this. So here's a parking lot right here with it's like a fast food chain store, and then here's a little small business area in the downtown section. This one is more valuable. Now, why isn't this one? Because a lot of stores and retailers are struggle to buy the property because they have to take on the giant car parking lot that's right in front of their door, and then the downtown place here doesn't have nearly as much cars in front of it. They have little cars in front of it, but it's connected because it's in a downtown area. There's gonna be a lot of people walking to it. I think end of these giant, parking lots needs to come soon. We need to get out more, basically. And I also want to say something about, driving in general. I don't really drive myself. Now you're asking, why don't I drive? Because quite frankly, I don't like to, and quite frankly, I don't need to. I usually get everywhere I go. Usually everything I need to is, right here, within my area. Usually if I want to go to the line, go. My brother will carpool, play some shitty 2010 music, obviously. So everything I need to do, I can get someone else to. That's just simple, It's like you could argue, well, I'm saving more money, and I'm being more cost efficient by not having a car. So they like to throw this idea at you when you get a car that's like a luxury vacation is waiting for you next. It's at the end of this road, but they don't tell you the endless insurance, the nightmare loan that you're going to be stuck with for the next 4 years because you just wanted to get a car. And it could also be a burden to get a car too. Like, you may not have the right car for the right thing. Like, if I want a 2x4, I don't want to get it in my Lambo. I'm sorry. I love my Lambo, but I'm not just going to go get a 2x4 in my Lambo. So then you have to haggle your way to find a truck when you could easily use a car sharing service. So I think this would be a way more viable option for people in the US because, owning a car is becoming way more hostile, and insurance companies are not making it any better. So I think that car sharing should become more popular. I have the right car for the right occasion, and you could argue, well, you don't get used to the car, but it's just a vehicle. I mean, I ain't gonna grow no relationship to it. Oh, Veronica, I love you. Right? It's like I'm not gonna. Some people get attached cards, but if that's not the thing, getting attached cards, then I recommend the car sharing service. And maybe the morale of the people here in the US might go down. Go down as in like the people being angry and stuff. That's an option. Another option, you bike or you walk, because as it's been shown that walking and biking is making you happier. When you're biking, moving them damn legs, you're moving them damn things, right? You're walking, getting that cardio rate up. When you're sitting in a car, you're not really getting any cardio up. And I want to say something. So at school, I have to, obviously I have to, you can take a bus there. Well, I usually just take a bus there because, I'm a guy like that and I like being cost efficient. But the other thing is, so I'm in high school, right? So a lot of people, at first when they get the car, they're like really happy about it, which is, I said back in there, that's the people that are really happy and like really like driving. But then over time, I'd say, from what I've seen, around like 20, like late 20s to early 30s is when people start to realize this car is costing me too much money. Oh, I can't get gas, because gas is rising now, so that's going to become an increasing problem in the next coming years, because, inflation's going up and all that stuff. So, that's something to think about when buying your next car. How much are you going to pay for gas on this thing? I'm making really need it, I would argue that, I don't care what car you had, I don't care that you have a Lambo. I don't care that you have a truck. I don't even care. It's just a means to get somewhere. That's literally all it is. And that's all it is. We could argue also, well, taking the train is, it's kind of like taking a bus, but trains are usually faster than buses because buses are not actually on the roads, they're on rails. So, I see the T here, it's a commuter rail service, so it goes to Boston and it goes to all other nice fancy places. Cape Cod, right? Yeah, so that was an option, and I think that should be looked into more. because it can slow down them cars at the stop. Because this is another way of stopping traffic. So there's railroad crossings. So when you got that big old long freight train at the crossing, you're gonna be waiting there for a few minutes, and that's gonna cause traffic. Now, honestly, there's no way to really stop a freight train. A freight train needs to get to where it needs to go to, and a train does in general. There's no way of really stopping that, but like I said, them cars that are waiting for that passenger train that's at the railroad crossing, they could be in that train, and it could get them faster to where they need to go. Wow! Mind blowing, right? You know, that was a crazy concept. Right. Alright, so in conclusion, there is a lot of people in the US who like driving, but there's a lot of people who are moderate who could like it a lot more if things were changed. We need, you know, more traffic, like prevention ways of, like, you know, taking a train, riding a bike, you know. We need to connect communities more. That's the big key here. The Netherlands feels so connected because, like, there are literally some places in the Netherlands where there's just no roads. There are roads, they're streets, but they're just like pedestrian streets. Like they're safe to bike on, they're safe to walk on, you know, if the business needs to deliver something to there, you know, they can. And the roads there too have good infrastructure because obviously not that many people are driving on them, so you ain't gonna get a lot of, you know, bumper to bumper action there. And it looks safe too, you know. Bike lanes are separated from, you know, the roads themselves. I think that needs to be implemented here in the US in the next 50 years. We need tri-rail service. So this is rail service that goes right down the middle of the city. I've seen this in California and like, these are in big cities, but I think it needs to happen in way more of these, like, other suburbs to, like, break them up a little bit. This type of zoning right here needs to be broken up so that, you know, it can be easier for the American to get to where they need to go. Like, get a restaurant in the neighborhood. You know, oh, the car repair shop in the neighborhood, you know. It may be noisy, but that ain't gonna be worth it when you're saving much more money in the end of the day. That's gonna be what's worth it. And we could also, you know, make bus lanes, so these are lanes where just only buses could go in them. Basically the concept of the train. Them bus men, they just steal the trains constantly. It's annoying, I know, right? But yeah, these are ways we can break up the big, you know, suburbs, and suburbs also take up a lot of space. I heard in some cities it takes up 80% of the city's space. A lot of space that could have been used to, like, make it connected, you know. There needs to be parks, you know. I also hate this, that in my town, I have to drive to my park. Wouldn't you rather walk to the park than, like, drive to it? Like, parks need to be more connected to the cities also, you know? So yeah, guys, this was a really interesting video for a few reasons, because I kind of got out of the comfort zone just doing, like, you know, how I know she broke up with me, right? So, it was actually an issue that is important to, I think, most Americans out there about why they're stuck on the roads for hours and hours. And I hope you guys enjoy this one. And if it doesn't come up by then, Happy New Year's. Hey Google, Hey Google, do people like driving?
Hang on, can I do what?
And that's gonna do it for today's video, guys. If you enjoyed it, I recommend you guys please like and share this. And remember, guys, have a flipping amazing day.